Trying to learn kanji? Click here to get a free ebook and study along with this lesson.
Hi everyone! Welcome to the Japanese Kanji video series. In this lesson, you'll learn the word radical. Take a look at these kanji characters. Can you guess what they mean? By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to grasp the meaning behind these kanji characters. First off, can you spot the radical that's common in all of these kanji characters? It's this part here. This particular radical is called
gonben.
The word radical is used in some of the most common kanji characters. Let's take a look at it in more detail. The meaning for the word radical relates to words or speech.
From left to right, the first kanji means to say, the second means to talk or story, the third character means language, and the fourth character means plan.
As you can see in the first example, the word radical is a kanji character on its own.
Did you spot the smaller mouth radical that we learned in lesson 6? It's this part here. The other parts above it, it's actually the heart radical. The heart spewing from the mouth is symbolic of words, or meaning to say. You can imagine the lines as words exiting the mouth.
The second kanji has the word radical on the left and this other character on the right. Once again, there's the small mouth radical that we learned sitting at the bottom there. Can you guess what the radical on the right is?
I'll give you a clue. It's a physical muscle in your body.
The large radical on the right represents the tongue. Here's the mouth on the bottom, and there's the tongue sticking out of it. Do you see it now?
The word radical paired with the tongue radical gives you the kanji meaning to talk.
The third kanji has the word radical on the left and this other radical on the right. And guess what? There's that mouth radical again.
There's this other tiny character above the mouth. It means 5. But why 5?
It's traditionally thought that we experience language through 5 paths, using our 2 eyes, 2 ears, and our mouth, which adds up to 5. Together, this character stands for language.
The fourth kanji is the word radical paired with the ten radical, which we learned in lesson 5. Think for a moment and guess what it might mean. Remember, the radical on the right can mean 10, but it can also mean complete.
The meaning of this kanji is
to plan.
Words thought to completion means that something has been planned out. We've only learned 6 radicals so far in this series, but are you starting to see how we can already break down and guess the meanings of many kanji characters? Imagine what you could do if you just learned a few more radicals.
Okay, let's move on.
The word radical will almost always be in the left position.
As seen in the original examples for talk, language, and plan.
Notice how the word radical is squished horizontally when it's in the left position.
Okay, now let's learn how to write this radical. The word radical is written in 7 strokes.
The first stroke is a diagonal stroke that starts at the top and goes from left to right.
The second stroke is a long and flat horizontal stroke, which also goes from left to right and sits just under the first stroke.
The third and fourth strokes are identical to the previous stroke, except shorter.
The last section is a box, which sits at the bottom. It's written in the same way as the mouth radical that we learned in lesson 6.
So the fifth stroke is a vertical stroke that goes from top to bottom on the left side.
The sixth stroke goes from left to right, bends, and continues downwards.
The seventh and final stroke closes the box at the bottom.
And that's it! You're done!
When the word radical is on its own, the kanji can be read as
gen for the on reading and I for the kun reading.
When the word radical is part of another kanji,
wa, hana.
For the talk kanji,
go, kata.
For the language kanji, and
kei, haka.
For the plan kanji. In this lesson, you learned about the word radical. It signifies word or speech. You also learned the kanji characters for word, talk, language, and plan in which this radical appears. It's almost always in the left position, and it's written with 7 strokes, 1 diagonal, 3 horizontal, and another 3 making a box. In the next lesson, you'll learn about another common radical used in some of the most common and basic kanji characters, the day radical. See you in the next lesson. Bye!
Bye!